Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, August 23rd. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Thank you for joining us. We begin the newscast in Kettering, where a local honor student was killed overnight. A gunman remains on the loose after taking the life of a young woman who many say was on her way to making a difference. Monico Bartholomew has the story.
A lot of sadness and disbelief in a neighborhood where someone killed a 17-year-old as her family members ran for help. Amber Stanley had plans to attend Harvard. Today, the honor student's family is planning her funeral.
Her sister ran over here with her little boy and knocked at the door that somebody's shooting, in their house. And we opened the door and she called police from here.
Gladys Achukwu Wagu lives next door to Stanley. Reportedly, someone entered Stanley's home around 10:30 last night. When the person left, Stanley was dead. This neighbor asked us not to show her face on camera.
I saw a police car out there, and then I looked and there were several cars. And I thought, what on earth is going on out here? And so I stood at the window and I called my neighbor who lives next door to the little girl that was killed.
Stanley was a standout senior at Charles Herbert Flowers High School. Gorman Brown is the principal.
She was an honor student here in our science and technology program who had aspirations to become a doctor. And she was taking the lead with a couple of other students in formulating a young physicians club here this year at the school.
Grief counselors will be on hand today at Flowers High School and tomorrow to help students and staff cope with Stanley's untimely death. Meanwhile, police ask anyone with information to give them a call. In Springdale, Monico Bartholomew, CTV News.
And once again, anyone who may have information on this case should call the Anonymous Crime Solvers hotline at 1-866-411-TIPS. Meanwhile, students at Charles Flowers High School are grieving the loss of senior Amber Stanley today. CTV's Molly Navola is outside the school in Springdale with more.
The day after the tragic shooting of 17-year-old senior Amber Stanley, students here at Charles H. Flowers High School are mourning the loss of their friend.
It's really never good when a student gets shot, but everybody's just trying to deal with it in their own way, and it's really hard on some people.
It was very quiet than usual. People were grieving her death, so it was very hard for some, and others, just comforting around the school. So it was a pretty normal day, but we still mourn the loss for her.
It's just really depressing that you can just see someone one day and then the next they're gone. Just like a life is just so precious, they can just take it away that easily. It's just so sad.
Now, many students say the school has set up a grieving area in the music and arts department, which Amber was a part of, for students to reflect on her life and grieve her loss. In Springdale, Molly Navola, CTV News.
Thank you, Molly. Well, do you remember where you were at this time last year? That's right. It's been exactly 1 year since the earthquake centered in Mineral, Virginia, rocked the East Coast. To commemorate the anniversary, government officials discussed both the lingering effects of the earthquake and the progress in rebuilding and recovery.
It was just before 2 p.m. a year ago that the ground shook up and down the East Coast, sending thousands onto the street. The lingering effects of that August 23rd earthquake are still being studied today.
Here at the Washington Monument, it's the pyramid at the top that suffered the most damage during last year's earthquake. Now the damage has caused the Washington Monument to be shut down until 2014, until repairs are completed.
The Washington Monument seismic assessment examined the seismic vulnerability of the structure within a 2,475-year period, what's known as maximum considered earthquake. Analysis included detailed computer models and showed that potential 2,475-year events did not present a concern for structural collapse, and that supporting soils are indeed adequate to withstand an MCE event.
The U.S. Geological Survey recently attributed the wastewater used in the oil and gas fracking process as contributing to several earthquakes. But the agency says fracking was not the cause of last year's earthquake centered in Mineral, Virginia.
There have been small earthquakes elsewhere in the country, for example, Arkansas, Colorado, that have been connected to wastewater injection, but that's a separate issue to the Mineral earthquake.
Just outside of the monument this morning, officials updated the press on the cost of repairs and the need to educate the public on how to respond when an earthquake strikes.
The best thing to do in an earthquake is to stay where you are, take cover under a table, if possible, something sturdy. Cover up, cover your head, and hold on until the shaking stops. But the last thing you should do is evacuate a building. More people are injured by falling debris and falling glass than anything else.
And officials are asking residents to register for the October 18th Great Southeast Shakeout. That's when thousands will participate in an earthquake drill to drop, cover, and hold on.
And for more information on earthquakes and emergency preparedness, you can log on to cusec.org. Well, a federal disaster response organization launches the second phase of its preparation plans today at Bowie State University. The National Emergency Preparedness and Response Research Center and its partners introduced a new technology called the Microcloud that will help keep networks running. The chief of technology for Lockheed Martin says the cloud is a major step toward an integrated solution.
And basically what's happening in industry today is there's an integration happening between compute, networking, and storage, where it's not affordable anymore to have these large-scale data centers. We want to actually put those together into an integrated solution that you can use as a platform for innovation.
The National Medical and Biosurveillance Center was created to assist federal, state, and local governments with emergency needs during catastrophic events.
The Prince George's Office of Emergency Management wants you to be prepared in case of a natural disaster. Residents with smartphones can download the Notify Me application. From severe weather to traffic emergencies, the helpful tool gives users critical real-time information right at their fingertips. Some of the other notifications include Amber Alerts, school and government closings, as well as utility interruptions. And to download the Notify Me app, log on to notifyme.princegeorgescountymd.gov.
Almost 2 months after the deadly derecho ripped through the region, public hearings on the storm response by local utility companies have come to a close. Maryland's Public Service Commission wrapped up the last of 8 hearings on BGE and Pepco's handling of the outages. At last night's gathering in Charles County, unlike previous hearings, which drew hundreds, no one showed up to testify. The commission says it will meet with representatives from the utility companies on September 13th and 14th to discuss the issues and questions raised by customers. If you were unable to attend a hearing but still wish to comment, you may do so by logging on to psc.state.md.us and click on e-file. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.